Hello everyone, we are going to be talking about operations with functions today. We're going to be doing two different types of operations here. One, we're going to be evaluating a function where here we have f of x, we are actually plugging in a -5 for all the x's we're going to see when we see our function f of x. And then when we see our different function g of x, we're going to plug in a +3 for all the x's. So you want to be paying attention to the function that we actually have. So here we have f of x. So that means I'm going to be plugging in a -5 for all the x values here. So we say -5, this means I'm plugging in a -5 for my x values. And I'm just going to plug in everything in parentheses where I'm putting that -5. Now we're just going to go ahead and use our PEMDAS rules and evaluate our, simplify our expression here, our equation here. So -5 squared, I end up having 25, -5 times a -5 is a +25. -8 times a -5 means I'm getting a +40, and then +4. Go ahead and finish by just adding straight across. So 25 plus 40, we get 65 plus 4, we end up getting 69. So when we plug in f of -5, that means we're going to get a 69 value out. Now we're going to go here. We're going to get our g of x function this time, and we're going to plug in a +3 anywhere we see an x. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in parentheses, whatever I'm plugging in. And then 4 times 3 is 12. Go ahead and start simplifying. And then we get our 12 minus 3, which is 9. So when I plug in 3 for all my x's, the function is going to equal 9. So that's evaluating your functions when you have a numerical value. So now I'm going to go over these values where we have to be plugging in different variables. So let's do this little chart right here for our examples. So first we have our operations with our functions here. So again, just like we saw above, we have our f of x, but this time we're going to be plugging in 3x minus 7. And then for our g of x equation, we're going to be plugging in 13 minus 2x for all the x's into our equation. So this one is telling us to find f of x plus g of x. So I'm going to add this one to this one. We are going to be trying to plug that in first. We're going to be adding our operations. So this one, instead of actually plugging in an x like we did for up above there, we are actually just adding our functions. It's telling us to do these operations here. And you could put parentheses around these so that you know that you were able to use both of the equations. Since we have that addition sign in between those, that means we are just combining like terms. So 3x minus 2x, I have 1x left over. -7 plus 13, I'm going to have a +6 left over. Always write your answer in standard form. And then now we're going to use the function that is denoted as, like this, f plus g of x. So this is just another form of actually seeing what this just said. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to show you guys what these actually means, just so you see all the different types of notation out here. So sum, remember, means you're adding. So what this looks, f plus g of x, this means f of x plus g of x, just like what we did above. If we see the difference, f minus g of x, we have our f of x there instead of our g that was about to write. So go ahead and do f of x minus our g of x this time. Then with this little product, that means our multiplication. So we are going to do f of x times g of x. And then we have our quotient where we are dividing. So f of x is going to be in our numerator, and then our g of x will be in our denominator. Okay? So there are a couple of different functions here that we're given. We have f of x, where it's x squared minus 8x plus 4, g of x, where it's 4x minus 3, and h of x, where it's x plus 2. So we're going to find all these different functions here using these operations. So we just did the plus one, but now our f of x is actually equal to, so we have f of x plus our g of x. So I'm going to take my f of x and I'm going to write x squared minus 8x plus 4, put that in parentheses, plus my g of x, which is 4x minus 3. Go ahead and combine those like terms, and once I do, you're going to write it in standard form. So x squared is my only squared term. Negative 8x plus 4, so it's more negatives than I had positives, so negative 4x, and then a positive 4 minus 3 is going to be a positive 1. So that is my final polynomial once I have added those functions. And then we have our subtraction. So I'm going to have my f of x, and if you guys start realizing that, so it should be f of x minus your h of x. So now I can have, if you start realizing that you know which function it is, just the more room that you write this, there's less room for error. And also making sure that on subtraction that you have parentheses, because you're going to be distributing that negative to that second parenthesis, which is then going to make this positive. So this becomes, so we have x squared minus 8x plus 4 all stay the same. This becomes a negative x and a negative 2. Combine like terms, I get x squared, negative 8x minus x is a negative 9x, and then a 4 minus 2 is a positive 2. So again, that's the trick for subtraction. Now when we are multiplying, so h of x times g of x, so make sure you guys are writing these in the order that they are listed. H of x is x plus 2, and my g of x is 4x minus 3. So now you're distributing, you're just multiplying with those values there. So x times 4x is 4x squared. X times negative 3 is a negative 3x. 2 times 4x is an 8x. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. We're going to go ahead and combine those like terms again, which are only here in the middle. And so we have our standard form, and we get 3x plus 8x, negative 3x plus 8x is a positive 5x minus 6. And there's our trinomial. And I'm going to show you one more, and then you guys are going to do these and practice them on your own before you submit your notes to me. And then please comment any questions, comments, just even things to remember, any tricks that you want to remember with these two different methods. Make sure you guys are making that comment there for me so I can see once you guys submit your notes. So the last one I'm going to do with you guys is going to show you f of x divided by h of x. So I'm going to write that entire polynomial on top here, so x squared minus 8x plus 4. We're going to divide that by our h of x, which is x plus 2. We can go ahead and see if this is factorable. So just like when we were dividing our polynomials, so we had x squared minus 8x plus 4. Let's use the AC method. I have 3 terms. 1 times 4 is 4. Negative 8 will go down here. So I have 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. Those are my only multiples of 4. So it looks like this is actually not factorable. So this is actually my final solution. I am unable to simplify anything more, and that is my final solution. So double check that when you guys go to simplify anything. I cannot simplify these x's here because the positives and negatives actually mess that up for me. So go ahead, you guys do practice those problems. We will go over them in class together to make sure you got them right on your own. Go ahead and write any questions, comments, things to remember, and it could be about this and or the evaluating the values when you have a number that you're plugging in for x instead. All right, you guys, I will see you in class. Thank you for your time, and I will see you later.